The widow's envelope. The silence in Ya Young Kim's house wasn't empty, it was full of absence. Every surface held evidence of a life lived in pairs. 2 recliners facing the TV. 2 coffee mugs on the kitchen counter. 2 toothbrush holders in the bathroom visible from the hallway. But only one person answering the door. The smell hit me first, Old Spice cologne, faint, but persistent, like it had soaked into the walls over decades. His navy windbreaker hung on the hook by the door, sleeves positioned exactly where arms should be, waiting for someone who'd been gone 3 years. I still say excuse me when I walked past it, Ya Young said softly, catching me staring. Silly, isn't it? She was 71, Korean American, wearing a cardigan. Despite the August heat, her silver hair was pinned back with bobby pins. That looked older than my radio career. The financial fortress. We sat at her kitchen table, 6 chairs, 2 placemats. She poured Lipton tea into cups that screamed, wedding gift, set by how carefully she handled them. Behind her, unopened AARP magazines and a Medicare Part D formulary guide thick as a dictionary. Everyone says I'm lucky, she began, wrapping both hands around her cup. Financially speaking, the word lucky came out sharp, almost bitter. David worked at Ford for 32 years. The union fought for survivor benefits. I get his full pension, $2,800 monthly for life. Social Security survivor benefits? I receive his amount, $2,450, since it was higher than mine. That's the rule, you get the larger benefit, not both. I did quick math. That's over $5,200 monthly guaranteed income. Plus the IRAs, she continued. Traditional IRA has $420,000. Roth IRA has $90,000, all after tax money. Withdrawals completely tax-free. Medicare Part D covers most prescriptions. Though I'm still refilling David's heart medications every month. Can't seem to call and cancel them. My financial advisor says I could safely withdraw 4% annually, about $20,000 from the traditional IRA, and never touch the principal. Factor in my RMDs when I turn 73. And I should be withdrawing even more. $8,000 monthly total income possible. You know what I actually spend? She stood and retrieved a business envelope from the drawer, where everyone keeps batteries and rubber bands. It bulged with receipts, each one folded precisely in half. $1,900 monthly, including property taxes. The receipt ritual. She spread the receipts across the table like evidence in a trial. Kroger, August 3rd, $47.82. She unfolded it carefully. Had Bertolli olive oil in my cart, the good kind David loved on salads. Put it back. Bought store brand. Saved $4.50. Another receipt. Marathon Gas, August 7th, $31.50. Was going to drive to Detroit, see my sister. Decided gas was too expensive. She's only 90 minutes away. This one's the worst. She held up a coffee shop receipt. $5.75 for a latte at the Detroit Metro Airport. I'd bought a ticket to Portland. My daughter just had her first baby, my granddaughter. Sat at the gate for an hour. Kept thinking. David saved this money. Skipped lunches. Drove that awful Cavalier for 15 years. How dare I spend it on overpriced coffee? You didn't go? I asked. Told my daughter I had a cold. She sent photos instead. The baby has David's nose. Her eyes filled but didn't overflow, the practiced control of someone who's ration even their tears. The traditional IRA could generate $1,600 monthly using the 4% rule. The Roth IRA no required minimum distributions, completely tax-free, could give me another $300 monthly without touching principal. I could buy a new car cash. Take that Viking River cruise David bookmarked on the computer. She gathered the receipts with shaking hands. But I can't even buy the good pasta sauce. The Rouse brand, $8 a jar, feels like stealing from his ghost. Let me break down Ya Young's financial reality. Financial assets. Social Security survivor benefits $2,450 month. Ford pension with survivor protection $2,800 month. Traditional IRA $420,000 subject to RMDs at 73. Roth IRA $90,000 tax-free withdrawals. Medicare Part D covering prescriptions. Total available $7,000 minus $8,000 monthly. Actual spending $1,900 month. The permission breakthrough. What change? I asked, because something had she'd called my show. She walked to the refrigerator and pulled down a different envelope. This one was lavender, with "Legacy in Motion" written in careful cursive. My grief counselor Medicare covers 8 sessions. She said something that broke me open. She said, "Ya Young, your husband didn't work overtime at Ford, so you could apologize to receipts. He worked so you could live." She opened the envelope. Inside were different receipts unfolded. Uncreased, triumphant. Amtrak roulette to Seattle, $800. My cousin hadn't seen me since David's funeral. We spent 3 days laughing about things our mothers would have smacked us for. Another receipt. Watercolor classes at the Toledo Community Center. $150 for 8 weeks. I'm terrible, my trees look like broccoli. But there's a widower named Frank who makes worse trees than me. We laugh about it. Lunch with the church ladies at that new place downtown. $28 for a salad with fancy cheese. Highway robbery. But Martha laughed so hard she snorted iced tea. I made a new rule, she continued. $500 monthly must be spent on joy. Not groceries, not utilities. Pure joy. If I don't spend it, I have to write myself an apology letter. Have you had to write any? I asked. Just one. Last July, I wrote, "Dear Ya Young, I'm sorry you dishonored David's sacrifice by hoarding instead of living. He didn't skip lunches so you could skip life." She wiped her eyes. I cried for an hour. Then I booked the Seattle trip. Used money from the Roth IRA. Those withdrawals are completely tax-free. The new philosophy. She showed me a new notebook. Each page had a month at the top and 2 columns. Memories made, and memories missed. October 3 memories made, 1 missed. Made Seattle trip, watercolor class, lunch with church ladies. Missed Portland to see granddaughter. But I'm going next month. Already bought the ticket. First class. Any advice for other widows? I asked. She looked at David's chair, still positioned for TV viewing. Social Security survivor benefits mean you get the higher amount, his or yours, not both. It's meant to maintain your standard of living, not just survival. Pension survivor benefits, same thing. They're provisions for the living, not monuments to the dead. Review Medicare Part D annually. Plans change their covered drugs every year. I was paying $45 monthly for David's medication I wasn't taking. Understand your IRA options. Traditional IRA withdrawals are taxable, but if Social Security and pension cover basics, you're in a low bracket. Roth IRA withdrawals are tax-free, forever perfect for guilt-free joy spending. At 73, RMDs force you to take from traditional IRAs anyway. She pulled out a brochure. Disney World. I'm taking my daughter and granddaughter for Christmas. Peak season. Overpriced. David would have searched for discounts. But David's not here. And that baby won't be a baby forever. That night in my studio, I shared Ya Young's story and read her note to listeners. Your Social Security survivor benefits aren't charity, you earned them through partnership. Your pension isn't a museum piece. Your traditional IRA will face RMDs eventually. Start on your terms. Your Roth IRA is tax-free, forever perfect for guilt-free joy. Your spouse didn't work and save so you could die with the most money. They did it so you could live with the most meaning. Start small. The good olive oil. The direct flight. Work up to bigger joy. Classes. Trips. First-class tickets to see grandbabies. Ya Young Kim. Age 71. Finally living. I looked into the camera we'd added for the YouTube stream. So here's my question for you. If you had to spend $500 this month on pure joy, not bills, not necessities, just joy, what would you spend it on? And more importantly, what's stopping you? Is it really about the money, or is it about permission? Drop your answer in the comments. Because Ya Young's story isn't unique. There are thousands of you sitting on Social Security survivor benefits, pensions, and IRAs, shopping at discount stores not because you need to, but because spending feels like betrayal. It's not. It's honor. Honor the person who worked for that money by using it to live. This is Mira Han, reminding you that your retirement accounts, traditional IRA, Roth IRA, 401k, they're not monuments. They're tools meant to be used. Tomorrow, we'll talk to Marcus, who discovered his required minimum distributions at 73 were forcing him to take money he didn't need until he learned about qualified charitable distributions and turned his tax burden into his legacy. But tonight, think about Ya Young's lavender envelope. What would be in yours? The kitchen table reckoning. Back in my studio at WDRX Dayton, the on-air light dark. I spread papers across the console like evidence of a crime I was trying to solve. 3 documents that told the story of American retirement in miniature. My father's Medicare summary notice showing his part. A deductible had jumped to $1,632. My mother's Social Security statement frozen at $1,147 a month. because she'd claimed at 62 during the 2009 recession. And my own Vanguard 401k quarterly statement from the station $47,238.62. I was 39 years old. And these numbers felt like a countdown clock I couldn't read. The building was empty except for the overnight DJ down the hall, playing classic rock for truckers and insomniacs. I'd come in early to prepare for tonight's show, but instead I found myself doing math on the back of a program schedule. The kind of math that keeps Americans awake at 3 a.m. The parental puzzle. My father called earlier that day. Medicare Part B just went up again. He said, frustration bleeding through the phone. It's $174.70 now. Comes right out of Social Security. Your mother and I. That's almost $350 a month just for Part B. Then there's the Part D drug plan. The Medigap supplement. We're spending $600 monthly on Medicare coverage alone. Why not Medicare Advantage? I'd asked. Zero premium, Dad. His laugh was bitter. Zero premium, sure. Until you need it. Remember Mr. Chin from church? His Advantage plan denied his back surgery twice. Had to pay out of network. $17,000. My mother had made her own costly decision years ago, when the factory where she worked as a bookkeeper shut down in 2009. She panicked and claimed Social Security at 62. The math was cruel, a 25% permanent reduction. Had she waited until full retirement age at 66, she'd get $1,529 monthly. Those 4 years of patience would have bought $382 more every month for the rest of her life. I needed the money then, she told me whenever I brought it up. You can't eat patience. She wasn't wrong. But now, at 71, watching grocery prices climb while her benefits stayed frozen, except for meager COLA adjustments. The early claiming decision haunted our kitchen table conversations. The station statement, my own 401k statement, sat there like an accusation. $47,238.62. The online retirement calculators said I needed at least $1 million by 65. At my current savings rate 6% with a 3% company match, I'd have maybe $400,000 if the market cooperated. I'd run the numbers obsessively. Start taking Social Security at 62 like Mom? That would give me maybe $1,800 a month in today's dollars. Wait until 70? Could be $3,200. But who knew if Social Security would even exist in its current form by 2050? The trust fund depletion date kept moving closer. 2033 now, they said. The station offered a Roth 401k option, and I'd split my contributions, half traditional, half Roth. The traditional saved me taxes now when I needed every dollar. The Roth would save me taxes later when I'd theoretically be rich. Theoretically. I pulled up last night's show calls on my laptop. The anxiety was infectious. I'm 68 and just got my first RMD notice. Why is the government forcing me to take money out? Should I convert my entire IRA to Roth this year? I'm in the 22% bracket. Medicare Advantage or Medigap? I've watched 17 YouTube videos, and I'm more confused than ever. Show recap. 3 retirement anxieties dominating my inbox and the airwaves. 1. Social Security timing: claim early and get less forever, or wait and risk dying before breaking even. 2. Medicare Maze Part B premiums eating Social Security checks, Advantage versus Medigap confusion. Part D donut holes. 3.401k inadequacy: the gap between what we have and what experts say we need. Every caller thought their number was the problem. But sitting there, surrounded by my family's financial papers, I realized we were all measuring wrong. The on-air confession. That night, I went on air with no script. Just the 3 documents and a revelation. "Friends," I said, the on-air sign casting its red glow across the desk, "I need to confess something. I've been lying to you. Not intentionally, but lying nonetheless. For years, I've been telling you to maximize your 401k. Optimize your Social Security claiming strategy. Navigate Medicare like a chess match. Tonight, I'm sitting here with my father's Medicare summary notice, my mother's reduced Social Security statement, and my own inadequate 401k balance. And I finally understand we've been measuring the wrong thing." The phone lines stayed quiet. They were listening. My mom took Social Security at 62 and lost $382 a month forever. But you know what? That early claiming let her help my brother keep his house during the recession. My dad pays $600 a month for Medicare coverage. But last month, when he needed emergency surgery, he paid nothing beyond his deductible while his roommate with Advantage got a $7,000 bill. I picked up my 401k statement. I have $47,000 saved at 39. Every calculator says I'm behind. But last week, I used my vacation time to drive my mom to see her sister in Indianapolis. We sang along to Motown hits and ate at a Cracker Barrel. And she laughed until she cried. "What's the compound interest on that?" The phones erupted, every line blazing. The sequence revealed. Here's what I learned from Sunwoo and his calendars, from Ya Young and her receipts, from my own parents' choices. I continued. Retirement isn't about hitting a number. It's about arranging your priorities in the right sequence. I wrote on a legal pad as I talked, the scratching audible through the mic. People first. Time second. Money third. Your Social Security optimization strategy means nothing if you're too stressed about money to enjoy dinner with your kids. Your Medicare Advantage savings mean nothing if you're afraid to use your coverage. Your 401k balance means nothing if you're measuring wealth in dollars instead of days. A caller from Youngstown broke through. "But Mira, what about RMDs? I don't need the money, but I have to take it at 73. Then make it mean something," I said. Sunwoo does QCDs, qualified charitable distributions. Goes straight to charity. Skips your taxable income. Or take it and create a grandkid fund. Or use it for the trip you've been postponing since 1987. The IRS says you must take it out. They don't say you can't enjoy it. Another caller. "I'm 55. Only have $200,000 in my 401k. Should I be panicking? Are you breathing? Is someone you love within driving distance? Can you afford coffee and a conversation? Then you're wealthier than the millionaire dying alone in his McMansion. As the show ended, I looked at those 3 documents again. My father's Medicare costs would keep rising. My mother's early Social Security decision couldn't be undone. My 401k would never hit the $1 million target. But tomorrow, I'd drive to their house with bagels from Goldberg's Deli. We'd sit at the kitchen table where I learned to read, where my mother taught me fractions, using measuring cups, where my father showed me how compound interest worked using baseball cards. That table was worth more than any balance sheet could calculate. So here's my question for you. Watching what retirement worry keeps you up at night? The best age to claim Social Security? Medicare Part B premiums? Your 401k balance? Type it in the comments below. But then ask yourself, if you solved that worry tomorrow, what would you do with the mental space it's currently occupying? Because here's what this 39-year-old with an inadequate 401k learned from her 70-something parents: the sequence matters more than the sum. People first, time second, money third. Get it wrong, and $1 million won't save you. Get it right, and $47,000 might be enough. Tomorrow, I'll tell you about Robert, the caller, who started everything, the man whose RMD notice made him realize he'd saved everything but lived nothing. This is Mira Han, reminding you that the best retirement plan isn't about claiming Social Security at the perfect age. It's about claiming your life at every age.